So just tell us about what, in your words, the People of Color Psychedelic Collective is and why you started it.
Mhm. Yeah, so People Color Psychedelic Collective, we are a nonprofit doing education and community building for folks of color interested in learning about psychedelics and ending the war on drugs. And so since we've started, we've done panel discussions, we've had a conference, we had a retreat, and of course, since COVID started happening, we've done online workshops on varying topics. And the reason why I started was because I was tired of seeing whiteness dominate the conversation on psychedelics. And I was also tired of people trying to have conversations about race where they were afraid to speak directly on race. And I wanted to make a space for people to be able to talk about those things without having to worry about, oh, what is this white person going to think? Or, oh, is white fragility going to get in the way? Because a lot of times it does. So that was part of my motivation. The other part was prior to me creating my organization, I worked at the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, which is also a mouthful. People call it MAPS, and they do clinical research on psychedelics. And so I worked there for about 8 months, and I was the only Black person there. And it was clear during my time that, like, working on, racial trauma for Black folks was not a priority. Working on even attacking the whiteness of the organization was not a priority either. And even involving Black folks or other folks of color in their research wasn't a priority. And to me, in my mind, I was just like, we as Black people, we have, some of the highest rates of trauma in this country, just given our how we got here, our story in this country. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, where we have a number of plantations, old historical sites. Is where a lot of us were brought through, right? A lot of our ancestors. So to me, it just didn't make sense that Black people's trauma wasn't being talked about. Indigenous folks' trauma wasn't being talked about or centered in these conversations around trauma. A lot of times it's centered just white middle classness, right? I was just tired of our trauma and our pain and our healing being second to theirs. And I wanted to create a space where we could talk about our experiences of using these substances, but also our experiences of the war on drugs and how it impacted our communities and how, this new narrative of psychedelics, reemerging kind of leaves us out.